Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. Today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the Beginning. Remember to get this one to 300 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, stay in tune for What If Naruto got his memory sealed away on this channel. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto got a second chance over on Anime King. And I'm also going to be posting What If Naruto was the Osusuke King. So stay tuned for that, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what is we begin this new episode? Begin the intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto met up with Tenten as he was talking about how lazy Kakashi Sensei was. As Tenten invited Naruto to her training session, as he accepted. Arriving at the training session, he saw a guy that looked similar to Hinata, well, mostly his eyes. As Neji didn't want to talk about Hinata, as Tenten quickly changed the subject, knowing that Neji hated to talk about that. It was then that Naruto saw it, that waterfall, Guy and Lee hugging. It was the most terrifying thing I ever seen in his entire life. But a week passed of that, and Naruto has been getting stronger training with them, and even practicing with Tenten with him using the bow and staff and she using her blade. He's gotten quite good. And also to the other jutsus, he has mastered the 4 jutsus that he set out to master, the 4 wing style jutsus. Team 7 went on another mission to capture Tora the cat. As after catching the cat, Naruto threw the cat to Sasuke, who brutalized Sasuke's face. Arriving inside the tower, Sasuke was upset, as these missions were not worthy enough for Uchiha, so he spoke out against Okage, who seemed rather angry and rather wanted to laugh. As Naruto spoke as well, saying that they were ready right now for another mission with an upgrade, seeing how well they have worked together. As he looked over to Kakashi and Kakashi sighed, as he knew he'll get into trouble for Sasuke talking later. But he was right, they were ready for another mission, something better. Despite Iruka protests, Sarutobi gave him a C-rank mission with the bridge builder Tazuna. As Naruto made a solid term so they can go tomorrow, as they listened to him. So the next day they headed out as they packed their things. Arriving at the gate, Kakashi was late as usual, but he got there as Naruto counted down to 1. As they headed off, walking on the road, Naruto saw the puddle. He saw Kakashi eyed, but Naruto paid no attention, probably was overthinking things, but he felt something. The demon brothers burst from the puddle, as one of them attacked Naruto. He froze for a split second, but he was still ready as he demolished the demon brother, knocking him down to a tree, as Kakashi took care of the other one, after re-emerging by grabbing him in a chokehold, as they tied up the demon brother, as they turned to Tazuna for answers. After hearing what about Gato and everything, Naruto said that it didn't matter if they go back, he's still going. As Tazuna was grateful to the boy, Kakashi sighed as he saw the others want to go as well. Well, Sakura didn't want to go, but Sasuke was going, so she had to go. As they took the boat, arriving back on the mainland, Naruto threw a kunai as he saw a rabbit jumped out. After hunting these things for a long while, he said that it was supposed to be brown, right? So why was it white? Kakashi quickly realized the situation, a substitution, as all of them had to duck as Zabuza's sword slammed into the tree. Appearing, Zabuza introduced himself as him and Kakashi start their battle. Kakashi was trapped in the water prison as he told them all to run, but Naruto started to insult Zabuza, calling him no eyebrow, as he had a plan. So yeah guys, that was basically the last point we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So, what is to begin this new episode? I'll kill you, you little brat, Zabuza said, as he created half a dozen water clones. The clones dashed forward, running across the water. Sasuke, I can use that fireball now, Naruto said. Sasuke nodded as he speed through hand sign, as he took in a deep breath, releasing a massive fireball from his mouth, going towards the clones. As Naruto finished his own hand sign before the clones could jump away, wind style, they topper, as he blew out a large gust of wind that hit the fireball, turning it into a firestorm. The clones stood no chance as the water that made them evaporated. Zabuza had to jump away from the large firestorm as well. Did we get him? Sasuke asked. Don't be ridiculous, Naruto said as he scoffed. A Jonin of his caliber would take far more than that to be defeated. You're right about that, Zabuza said as he charged out of the smoke. But Kakashi landed right in his path. Your fight is with me now, said Kakashi, glaring at Zabuza. Zabuza jumped away. Fine by me, he said. And with that, the both of them started to clash. With Kakashi not holding back, it didn't take too long. As, after a good 15 minutes, Zabuza was sent sailing. The only thing stopping him was a large tree bark. The moment he hit the tree bark, several kunais impaled him, sticking him to the tree bark. Zabuza coughed up blood, staining his bandages, as it leaked out of his mouth. He then looked up to see Kakashi crouched down on a tree branch, with a kunai in his hand. Can you see the future? Zabuza asked. Not quite sure why he asked that, only that it fit with what he had seen. Yes, said Kakashi, and I see your death. Before Kakashi could finish Zabuza off, several senbon pierced his neck. Zabuza's eyes rolled up in the back of his head as he collapsed. You were right, said a voice. Kakashi turned to see a person. Their gender was hard to tell, given the robe and the hunter named mask. That mask was from Kiri. This was going to be his final battle, the person said. Kakashi jumped down as he checked Zabuza's pulse. He is dead, Kakashi said, as he turned to look at the hunter ninja. You're hunter ninja from Kiri, he said. The hunter ninja gave a respectful bow. Yes, I am. Thank you. I've been looking for Zabuza for quite some time now. Kakashi sighed as he brought his headband down over his Sharingan, as his squad came up behind him looking at the hunter nin. As the hunter ninja disappeared in a swirl of water, reappeared next to Zabuza's body. Bending down, the person picked up Zabuza, placing Zabuza's arm over their shoulder. Now, if you will excuse me, this body has many secrets. I need to go and destroy it. As Naruto watched a hunter ninja disappear in a swirl of water, Naruto frowned, as he felt like he was missing something. Kakashi-sensei, he said. Kakashi turned, and then collapsed over. As Naruto rushed over to him, he placed a hand on his neck. He's alive, just unconscious. Signs of chakra exhaustion. The others sighed in relief, as Naruto created two clones that lifted Kakashi up by his arm and his leg. Tazuna-san, we need to get here home now. Think you can lead us there, Naruto asked. Yes, Tazuna said. Just follow me. Sasuke, you take point, Naruto said. Sasuke looked at him for a moment, before complying. Normally he wouldn't, but being point would allow him to prove his superiority, in his mind anyway, as Tazuna led them to his house. After walking for a while, they made their way to a beautiful, two-story house. As Tazuna knocked on the door, Tsunami, open up, it's me. As the door cracked open slightly to show a beautiful young lady. She seemed to be in her mid-20s, with dark blue, shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. She was wearing a pink sweater and a blue skirt. Dad, she said in relief. Thank goodness you're alright. Of course I'm alright, said Tazuna. She looked over his shoulder. Thank you very much, she said. Oh, triplets. She then looked at Kakashi. Is he alright, she asked. Yes, he's fine. He just has a bad case of chakra exhaustion. Is there anywhere we can make him rest? Of course, she says. She opened the door, allowing them to enter. As the clones went with her upstairs, she pulled out a bedspread and placed it on the ground. As Kakashi was placed inside of it, and she placed the covers over him. After that, the clones ended this spell. Her eyes went wide. What the? They're clones, Naruto said. They're just solid copies of myself. Figuring that it was some kind of a ninja thing, she just nodded. As Sakura sat down next to Kakashi. Are you gonna be alright, Sensei? She asked. Yeah, said Kakashi in a strained voice, as he had woke up a few minutes ago, on the way here. He was just too tired to speak. I'll be alright in a week or so, he said. What? Said Sakura in surprise. It's because of the Sharingan, Naruto said as the others looked over at him. It's an amazing bloodline, but seeing that Kakashi-sensei is not a Uchiha, it put a great deal of stress on his body, since it's not built to harness the Keiki Genkai at its full potential. As Sakura, and especially Sasuke, was surprised. As Sakura looked over, well, the Sharingan sound amazing, but if it puts so much stress on the body, I guess you have to think long and hard before using it, she said. Dope, said Sasuke. How do you know so much about the Sharingan? Naruto shrugged. I've been reading a lot lately, he said. Naturally, reading about one of Konoha Famous's clan was my favorite subject. There is little about how the Sharingan really work, but I know the basics, like how the eyes are able to see and copy any genjutsu, ninjutsu and taijutsu, and able to turn any technique back against the original user. But the more specific thing is, if someone get an implanted Sharingan, they cannot use it to its full potential or properly. I'm guessing that's why you always kept it covered, Sensei, Naruto asked. Kakashi tried to nod, but he found it impossible to move his head. He just spoke. Yes, that's right, Naruto. I'm pleased to see you're studying so well. Naruto gave an embarrassed laugh as he rubbed the back of his head in a sheepish manner. Well, at least you guys defeated that strong ninja this time, said Tazuna. We should be safe for now. By the way, who was that masked kid? Sakura asked, as she remembered reading something about ninjas who wore that mask before. That masked person was a hunter named from Kiri. The special hunter teams. They are also known as body erasers. Their duty is to completely dispose of a body without a trace. Seeing that many body has a lot of secrets inside of it, and it can be revealed with a proper examination of a medical ninja. Things like ninjutsu, different chakra types, herbs, and many other secrets. Not to mention if the person has a special bloodline, or dojutsu. As Naruto nodded to himself, Konoha also have a special force of hunter ninjas, ready to hunt down any missing names and kill them before they become a problem. So wait, that Zabuza guy has been chopped up and been disposed of? Sakura asks. I'm not so sure about that, said Naruto. What do you mean, Sakura asks. What are you not so sure about? Well, what I read about hunters is, when they come for a body, they usually cut off the head and burn the body at the same time. But that person, they took Zabuza's entire body. On top of that, he used Senbon to kill the target. Having spent enough time with Tenten, Naruto knew a lot about Senbons and all kinds of weapons. He wasn't even carrying a heavy equipment that could decapitate a person. It's just odd. That's all, Naruto said. You're absolutely right, Naruto, said Kakashi. I've been wondering about that myself and I have a theory. Meanwhile, in Zabuza's hideout, the hunter ninjas removed the needles, as he was going to remove the cloth around Zabuza's mouth and drain the blood. When Zabuza's hand shot up, the hunter ninja looked quite surprised. Oh, you're already back alive. Zabuza grunted as he touched his neck. Damn, you sure are rough, he said. I had to make it seem real. How long are you gonna wear that stupid mask, said Zabuza. I like this mask. It reminds me of the old days. And plus, it was useful. If I hadn't come in this mask, you'd have definitely been killed. As the hunter ninja examined Zabuza's wounds, you shouldn't be able to move for at least a week. But knowing you, you'll probably be up and about sooner, right? Zabuza simply smirked. You're so pure and clever. That is what I like about you. Of course, his partner said. The fake hunter ninja stood up and looked around. The mist, it has cleared. Will you be alright next time? Zabuza growled a bit. Next time, I'll defeat the Sharingan. Back at the house. What? You mean Zabuza is still alive? Sakura asked with a screech. Keep your voice down, Sakura, said Kakashi before clearing his throat. Think about it. The hunter ninja killed Zabuza with Senbons. But unless the Senbons hit a vital organ, the probability of it killing someone is very, very low. Hunter ninjas usually have a thorough knowledge and understanding of the human body completely. So putting a person in a momentarily death-like state would be easy. I believe that Hunter Ninja is one of Zabuza's subordinates. Sasuke was smirking though, thinking that he would get another chance to prove himself as a true Uchiha by defeating Zabuza himself. And he would be one step closer to taking down Itachi. Sakura looked around in worry as she knew that she had no chance of helping in a fight like this. As Naruto was replaying the battle in his head to see how strong Zabuza actually was. Don't you think you're overthinking this, said Tazuna, as he really didn't want Zabuza to be alive. I mean, hunter ninjas are supposed to kill missing names, right? One of the scenarios is to prepare for the most possible worst scenarios. And even if Zabuza is dead, Gato is just gonna hire stronger ninjas. But what can we do, Sakura asked, as she was starting to feel rather overwhelmed. I mean, we're just Jennings, and you can barely even move, she said. Kakashi chuckled slightly, as if he found this entire situation funny. You guys will be doing some training, he said. Training? Said Sakura, in surprise. Sensei, what's a little training gonna do? Our enemy is someone you struggle against even with the Sharingan. Cha! He's trying to get you all killed, Inner Sakura said. Sakura, who saved me while I was trapped in that water prison, said Kakashi. He looked over at Naruto and gave my eye a smile. You guys have all improved greatly already. And Naruto, you've improved the most. Sakura looked over. He does seem to be a lot better. And smarter. The way he was talking, he was like a completely different person. But of course, she's still convinced that Naruto was that idiot, simply trying to act smart, to make himself look better than Sasuke and make Sasuke look bad. I can't believe the dope is doing this well. Sasuke thought, recognizing what Kakashi said was true. He must be getting some kind of help, otherwise the dope wouldn't have gotten this good. Who is it though, and why does he have someone teaching him privately, while I, Uchiha, does not? Obviously, this is just training for you guys to get better, said Kakashi, unaware of their thoughts. Even if I train you, you won't be able to best Zabuza without me. But Sensei, if he's alive, he can attack at any time, Sakura said. Don't worry, you have to remember that Zabuza was injured too, more than I was. On top of that, he was put into a death-like state. It is going to take a long while for his body to recover, so yes, we can train. Finally, Naruto said. I didn't think you were going to train us, Sensei. Huh? But Naruto, I've trained you guys, said Kakashi. Yeah, in teamwork exercises. And even then you continue to read that porn of yours. I am talking about train to up our individual skills. Teamwork is important, Kakashi said, with a small shrug. I am not denying that teamwork is not important, Sensei. However, we both know that individual ability is just important. If we can't even fight properly by ourselves, it won't even matter if our teamwork is flawless to the point. And you know that if Zabuza did not underestimate us because we were kids, he would have probably killed me and Sasuke. Kakashi simply nodded. Naruto was right, individual skills were important. However, he wanted to pound the idea in their head that teamwork was the most important thing for shinobi. Why do you guys even bother? Everyone turned to see a kid around 6 to 8 years old. He had on a blue overall, with a yellow shirt underneath it with a fishing hat. Oh, Inari, where were you? Tazuna asked, as he held out his arms in greetings. Inari rushed over and gave his grandpa a hug. Welcome back, Grandpa, he said, before glaring over the Konoha ninjas. Inari, say hello to these people. Tsunami said, they're the ninjas that protect Grandpa. But Mom, they're just going to die. There is no way they can beat Gato. Man, this kid is more emo than you are, Sasuke, Naruto said, as Sasuke grunted. Hey, listen there, kid. There is no way some idiotic, midget, rich bastard is going to kill us. When Gato tried to get your grandpa here, I'm going to beat his ass straight back into the past. Kakashi's sweat dropped. There he goes again. It's almost like he had two people inhabiting his body. One moment a smart, rational part, and then the next, a loudmouth, angry part. Inari huff, you must be some kind of idiot, thinking that you can go against Gato. Inari turned and made his way towards the door. If you don't want to die, you should leave. Inari, where are you going? Asked Tsunami in a weird voice. I'm going to look at the ocean, he said, as he leave and slammed the door on the way out. I'm sorry about that, said Tsunami, in a rather depressed voice. Whatever, that kid needs to get his shit together. Anyone brute more than Sasuke really needs to get their shit together. Shut up, Naruto Baka, said Sakura as she raised her fist, but Naruto grabbed her hand. Seriously, Sakura, haven't I told you? I have done nothing for you to hit me, at least 200 times now. I'm not your personal punching bag, he says. He threw away her arm. I swear she never changes, Naruto thought, as Sakura stood there in shock. In the past month, his crush has been getting less and less for her. He didn't really know why he didn't really care anymore. The more time he spent with her and Sasuke, the less he seemed to really like her. Of course, it could have been her abusive personality and the fact that she always hit him, but he has been dealing with that for years now. He assumed that it was because he was spending time with girls that actually seemed to like spending time with him. Tenten and Uncle really took time out of their days to talk to him. Even they would go out to get something to eat, even though that consisted of mostly Ichiraku ramen. He shook his head. Anyway, I'll be going to get some rest, he said. In that case, there are a few extra rooms on the right if you want to take one of them, said Tsunami, as Naruto walked out. As he walked past Inari's room, he heard crying. The boy was still here. Dad, he heard Hinari, soft whispers, as he sighed as he went to one of the open rooms. The next day, the group was outside as Kakashi was on crutches. Alright, it's time we begin your training. About damn time, Sensei, Naruto said. I was waiting for you to get your sorry ass in gear. No need for such language, Naruto, Kakashi said. Man, I think Uncle is really having a bad influence on him. She's rubbing off on him too much. Now before we begin your training, I want to talk to you about Chakra. Why? We already know about it, Naruto said. Alright, well then, why don't you go and explain it, said Kakashi. It's the energy we use to create jutsu, Naruto said in an uncaring manner. And, said Kakashi. And nothing, Naruto said. That's it. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Yeah, she's a bad influence. Right then, I suppose we should get to training. So what are we going to do? Kakashi gave all of them a eyed smile. You all are going to be learning tree climbing, he said. Sakura and Sasuke face faulted, as Naruto simply sighed. How is climbing a tree supposed to make us stronger, Sasuke asked. So, he doesn't know how to do that yet, Naruto thought. This should be fun. I'm glad that you asked, said Sasuke. The fact that you'll be able to fight on a vertical surface. Tree climbing also help you with your chakra control. Kakashi then walked over to a tree as he channeled chakra to his feet, as he started to defy gravity and walk up the tree. As he stopped, as he went over to a branch and hung upside down. Sakura and Sasuke looked shocked while Naruto looked rather bored. Could he already know how to do this? He thought to himself. The feet are the hardest place to channel chakra to. Therefore, if you can master this exercise, you can master any other chakra control exercise. In theory, he said. Hey Sensei, I already know how to do this, Naruto said. Causing Sakura eyes to widen, and Sasuke to narrows. I see. Then why don't you show me then? Naruto sighed as he walked over to a tree, channeling chakra to his feet as he walked up it and hung upside down in a branch. See? Now you may bask in the greatness that is Uzumaki Naruto. Well, it looked like you have a head start on chakra control, as he figured that Uncle taught him this. Very well, seeing that you seem to be so good at it, you can teach it to your teammates. What? Sakura and Sasuke yelled. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, his sensei was trying to dump the work on him. How about I leave a clone with them, and you help me with something I've been working on, Naruto said. Kakashi actually looked surprised by that. As he thought about it, then nodded. With his chakra nearly depleted, he could not do much, but he could at least give Naruto some advice. Very well, he said, but I need to see what you're working on so I can help you. Naruto flipped off a tree and landed, as he created two clones. Kakashi pulled two kunai and threw it at their feet. These two clones of Naruto will help you with the exercise, he said. Use those kunai to mark your progress. I suggest you start by running. So, why don't you show me what you're working on, he said as he looked at Naruto. Alright, but we should probably go somewhere else. That way we won't be a distraction to the other two. As Naruto started to walk away, making Kakashi follow behind him. Meanwhile, Sasuke was cursing in his mind. How? How can a dope be so much better than me? I've always been the best, an elite member of the Uchiha clan. Yet, he knows something and I don't. Sasuke looked over at the tree, hoping that it will just spontaneously combust, as he picked up the kunai, as he ran towards the nearest tree. When they were far away, Naruto turned back to Kakashi. There's actually two things I want to work on. My manipulation, training. What? Said Kakashi, his eye widening in surprise. You're already training in elemental manipulation. He did not realize that Naruto was working on something so advanced. You do know that's a Jonin level exercise, right? I know, but I already have several jutsu in my repertoire. I don't think I need any more. Rather, I want to use a jutsu that I know more efficiently. That would make sense, said Kakashi. This kid is so weird. One minute he's acting like Minato Sensei and the next, he reminds me of Kushina-san. And you say you're a Win user? Yes, Naruto said, as he pulled out a piece of paper and made it split with his chakra to show his point. I actually wasn't planning on training in this until I got back home. I was told that Sarutobi Asuma is a Win user as well, and I was going to ask him for some advice. But if we're going to fight Zabuza and that hunter Nin, I want some kind of edge over them. Well, chances are that Zabuza will be back in action in a week, but it can't hurt, he said. Now, I'm not really a Win user, so I can't give you any tips, but thankfully my sensei was, and I got to see him train on occasions. Kakashi picked up one of the fallen leaf and twirled it. Your first step is to slice this leaf in half with your wind manipulation. That doesn't seem so hard, Naruto said. But I'm guessing it is hard, seeing that it's a Jonin level exercise. Kakashi nodded. Elemental training is a Jonin level skill. Most kunoichis and shinobis don't think of doing this until they're at least a Chunin for a year or two. Got it, Naruto said. Oh yeah, I was also wondering if you can show me the hand seals for the body flicker technique. The Shunshin, huh? Kakashi said, surprised once more. As people didn't try to do this until they were at least a tuning for months or so. Yeah, I suppose I can show you the hand seals, Kakashi said. The Sunshin is simply a ramp seal, much like your Shadow Clone Jutsu. However, unlike the clone jutsu when you imagine multiple clones of yourself, for this you must picture yourself moving at very high speeds. I find it helps that you visualize yourself where you want to be when you use it. Naruto nodded. Thanks, Kakashi-sensei, he said. No problem, Naruto. Now then, I'm going to go and check on your teammates. As he gave Naruto a back wave as he hobbled back towards the clearing. He's probably just gonna go and read his poor, Naruto thought. Well, whatever, I have work to do. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, he said. Meanwhile, back in the clearing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sasuke was blasted off the tree as he put too much chakra, but he marked it with the kunai. Damn it, why is this so hard? You're using too much chakra. Sasuke turned and looked at the clone that glared. What? He asked. The clone sighed. He could not understand how the boss deal with this shit every day. You use too much chakra, that is why the bark exploded. Use too much, it puts you off. Use too little, you slip off. Hey, Sasuke-kun, look up here. Both of them turned to see Sakura sitting on the first tree branch on her tree. Well, it looks like she's got good control, Naruto said. Sasuke looked at Sakura with a glare as she noticed it. Oh no, Sasuke-kun looked mad. And I thought you'd be impressed. What am I going to do? Hey, stop glaring at Sakura and get back to work, or you will never get this exercise down, the clone said, making Sasuke glare at it. Hey, don't talk to Sasuke-kun like that, Sakura said, defending her crush, despite he just looked like he just wanted to murder her with a glare. Sakura, the clone that was helping Sakura shouted, as she jumped. I know you want to be the center of Sasuke's attention, but I need you to be quiet and focus on your training. Sakura blinked in surprise. What was up with this clone? But I already did the training, she said, that scowl. Acting smarter or not, there was no way she was going to let Naruto or his clone talk to her like that. You saw me. I already climbed the tree. Oh really? So if I asked you to walk all the way up to the top and back down, you could do it? Well, Sakura hesitated. Running up to this branch had tired her out a lot. She was not sure if she could go up anymore. Exactly, the clone said. You have good control to get up there. But you're also still lacking something. Sakura frowned and she did not like how the clone was insulting her. Are you insulting me? She asked. For the love of God, the clone says. He slapped his face. No, I'm not insulting you. Like Sasuke, you have good qualities as well. But the both of you are lacking in some areas. Well, your situation is reversed. What do you mean? She asked. You have good chakra control. This is because your chakra is so small. It's not all that surprising since you come from a civilian family. Larger reserves are not in your genetics, like it would be when you're a Uchiha. Sasuke on the other hand has larger than average reserve, which is harder to control. I don't think I'm gonna get used to Naruto sounding smart, she thought to herself. So what am I supposed to do? She asked. We need to get your chakra reserves up, the clone said, as if the answer was obvious. We need to work on your chakra control exercises, but go for endurance rather than simply learn the exercises. Now, I have a friend who helped me with tree climbing. She said that you don't really master it until you learn how to fight on that surface for at least an hour. Sakura gulped as the clone smiled. Don't worry, you can't do that yet, you don't have the reserves. What I need you to do is start running up and down the tree until you're exhausted. You can take a small break once you're tired out, but once you have rested, you will start all over again. As Sakura paled, well, you know, if you do this and show that you're getting better, Sasuke might pay attention to you. That seemed to got her beamed up. As Sasuke glared at him, the clone sighed. You know, glaring at me won't help with your tree climbing, right? I suggest you use a little less chakra than before. I don't need your help, dope, said Sasuke, as he ran back up the tree. It was going well until he slipped off, as he marked his progress and jumped back off. Damn it was only 5 steps above the first one. Damn it, Sakura got this in one try. I'm an Uchiha, and I haven't even got as far as she has. You need to relax, Sasuke. As Sasuke turned his glare on him, look, I'm trying to help you. And I said I don't need your help, dope. I am an Uchiha. This should be no problem for me. And yet, you're still standing here, Naruto said. I said I don't need your help, Sasuke said, gritting his teeth. You know what? Fine. Keep on making a fool of yourself, dumbass. As the clone walked over to the tree and sit down. I'll be just here, watching you. Sasuke just glared. He would do this without anyone's help. He's an Uchiha for God's sake. Later that night, Naruto and the Konoha ninjas were at the table with Tazuna and his family. As Naruto and Sasuke were scarfing down the food, Sakura had her head on the table looking like he was about to pass out. And much to Tsuname's annoyance, Kakashi was reading his porn. So Sasuke, Sakura, how is training going? Kakashi asked as he flipped a page in his book. He would have left seeing that he finished eating already as soon as the food was set down, as they didn't even notice that none of them saw him actually eat. Where did the food go? When did he remove his mask? Said Sasuke, somehow still able to make that sound despite his mouth being full of food. Naruto is a slave driver, Sakura said, not even bothering to lift her head up. Out of everyone else, she had it the hardest, seeing that she didn't have the stamina of anyone else. Really? Said Kakashi as he turned to Naruto. So how was your training, Naruto? He asked. Naruto swallowed his food. Well, I'm making some progress, but it's slow. I'm doing better at learning the Sunshin and elemental training though. What? He's learned the Sunshin? Sasuke questioned in his mind. There's another reason to be pissed off. That's natural, after all. Elemental manipulation is a Jonin level technique. Naruto is going through Jonin level training? Sakura wondered in shock, as Sasuke was even more pissed off now than before. If that was even possible, as he got up, as he walked out and slammed the door behind him. I guess I should have seen this coming. I shouldn't talk about how stronger Naruto is getting in front of Sasuke. I wonder what crawled up his ass and died. Naruto looked over at the door. Though, I'm surprised. Something can crawl up there. With that 20-foot pole he's already has sticking up there. Naruto Baka, don't make fun of Sasuke like that, said Sakura as she stood up. Do you want me to double the amount of training you're going to get tomorrow? He asked. She quickly shut her mouth and sat back down. That's what I thought, Naruto said, as he turned back to his food. Actually, Naruto, seeing that you are much farther than your teammates, I was hoping that you could go with Tazuna tomorrow. Naruto simply shrugged. Sure thing, Sensei, he said. It just means he had to get up early and make his clone start work from earlier. Well, you'll be having the best protection, old man. I won't be letting any of Gato's thugs near you. I'm sure, said Tazuna, as he chuckled at Naruto's cocky attitude. After seeing the boy come out with that plan to help his sensei, he wasn't having any doubt in the kid now. Everyone keep eating until Sakura noticed something about the picture hanging on the wall behind Tazuna. Hey Tazuna-san, what's with that picture over there on the wall? It looks like a piece is missing. The entire family tense. An air of sorrow seemed to fill the air. It's my husband, said Tsunami, after several silent minutes of tenseness in the area. The man who they call the hero of Nami, said Tazuna. Inari got up as he ran up the stairs. Inari, Tsunami called. She turned to her father. Father, you know you shouldn't talk about that man in front of Inari. What's wrong? Sakura said, as she felt rather sad for causing him pain. He lost someone he loved, didn't he? Naruto said. That man. He was important to him, right? Naruto said, in a rather soft tone. Tazuna sighed as he started to tell his tale. Inari had a friend that he was real close to. A man that was close to his father, all but not in blood. That man was everything, a lot to him. Inari was smiling and laughing back then. The word courage has been ripped away from these people ever since that incident. That incident? What happened? Asked Kakashi. Before I get to that, I first need to tell you about the man who was called the hero of Nami. As Tazuna started to tell them about Kaiza, the man who fought against Gato forces and tried his best to get Gato out of the city. Gato killed Kaiza, didn't he? Naruto said, after hearing where the story was going. As Tazuna nodded, he hanged him up in a public execution, so to make sure everyone would see and fear his name. From that day, Inari changed. He stopped believing in heroes. It was the day that everyone lost hope. Naruto got up and started to walk away after hearing the story ending. Naruto, where are you going? Asked Sakura. If you're thinking of training, take the day off. You could die if you use up too much chakra. Don't worry about me, Naruto said. I'm not gonna push it too hard. But I need to start my training again. Because I have to make sure that Inari believe that heroes still exist, he said. And with that he left the house. The next morning, Naruto clones were out training, as he was rather bored, as Tazuna and the other bridge builders were there, working on the bridge. That was rather boring. You seem kind of bored standing around here all by yourself, Tazuna said. Well, I'd rather be here than deal with those two. One very emo and the other one who loves to punch people, for no reason at all. Tazuna chuckled. You know kid, you're alright. Hey Tazuna. As one of the workers came over, a man wearing an outfit similar to Tazuna, What is it, Gaichi? Asked Tazuna. I've been doing a lot of thinking recently, and I think I'm about to start my work on the bridge. What? Tazuna yelled in surprise. This is so sudden. Why would you do this? He asked. Tazuna, we've been close friends for a long while now, said Gaichi. I want to help you, but if we continue this work, Gato will notice us. And if you get killed, then what's the point? As Naruto see that Tazuna was right, the people here had lost all hope and all their courage. We should quit while we're ahead right now. I can't do this, said Tazuna. This bridge is our bridge. This is what is going to connect us to the mainland, and it will help us a lot. And I'm not gonna let one short midget stop me. The man looked at Tazuna, but if we lose our life, it's already noon, said Tazuna as he turned. Let's stop for today, guys. Gaichi, you don't have to come back tomorrow, he said, as he walked away. Naruto found himself frowning as he followed Tazuna into the city and looked around. The city looked more like a hovel than anything else. The buildings were run down. The clothes that people were wearing were barely hanging off of them, and many people didn't have nowhere to go or simply sitting on the street side and alleyways. Some of them looked like they hadn't eaten for long days, or probably even months now. Children, starving. Looking at this place reminded him of when he was kicked out of the orphanage, when he had to scrummage for food. As Tazuna went to a store with Naruto, but there was hardly enough food there, as most of it was also rotten as well. As Tazuna finished buying his goods, the both of them left the store. Naruto felt a tug on his leg as he looked down to see a small child, his hand sticking out. Hey Tazuna, Naruto said as Tazuna stopped. I'm sorry, but do you think I can stay here for a while, Naruto asked. Tazuna looked at the child and then back to Naruto. Sure thing, kid, he said, as Naruto held his hand together. As a clone, appear right beside him. My clone will escort you back home. As the clone headed off with Tazuna. Hey, why don't you show me where your family and your friends are, so I can get you all some food, he said. The kid looked at Naruto and took his arm and started to drag him to the location. Moments later, and that's when I escaped them all from chasing me, Naruto said, as he just finished telling one of his grand stories about when he painted the Hokage's monument. As the kid brought him to a place where 15 other kids were, ranging from around 7 to 12. They were all in rag clothes as well. As Naruto created 50 clones and sent them out to catch some fish, 25 of them stand on top of the water catching fishes, while the other rest went to get firewood, and the others built fire pits so they could cook the fishes. Once the clones finished, Naruto got all of them to settle down as he passed out food to all of them, as they devoured their food like they haven't eaten in months, as Naruto suspected that this was close to the truth. That's so cool, a little girl said, as she had long brown hair and green eyes. Yeah, it was, until Iruka-sensei caught me at least, Naruto said. Hey, who's Iruka-sensei, she asked. He's a person who taught me how to be a ninja. Yeah, he's pretty cool, but he seemed to have this sixth sense of finding me every time that I do my pranks. He stayed with the kids for the next several hours, retailing them in his pranks, telling them everything, making them laugh. As seeing a smile on their face just brought joy to his heart as he saw the sun was setting. Well, looks like I have to get going, he said, standing up, much to the disappointment of the kids. Aw, do you really have to go? Asked the one who had let him hear. Naruto smiled rough the kids here. Yeah, I do. I have to help protect the bridge builder. And you know, he's gonna save this country from Gato, to make sure you all can live happy lives again. Really? The boy said. Yeah, that is why I have to protect him, Naruto said, so Gato doesn't try to pull anything funny. Wow, you're like a hero, one of the little girls said, as Naruto chuckled. You think so? Maybe. Yeah, it's nice to know that some people think that anyway, Naruto thought. Time skip. Kakashi gave Naruto his famous eye smile. Ah, Naruto, did you take care of whatever business you had? Yeah, it's all taken care of, Naruto said as he sit down and started to place some food on his plate. I figure this should have happened, given while they are a lot different. They are a lot similar to him while he was in his younger years. Kakashi found out what Naruto was doing through Pakon after summoning him to check on Naruto. Kakashi was signed to be a guard for Naruto when he was younger, and he saw the tough life that Naruto went through as well, when most of the people didn't want to sell him at the shops, and they would have to stop a lot of junks from getting near Naruto. And it made Kakashi feel very proud of Naruto to see what he has done today, as he knew that Naruto would become something great. The boy has already started to teach himself, taking the initiative learn himself. Yeah, he was truly something special. Kakashi looked over the other two. They did not have the same motivation or determination Naruto had. Hopefully some of it would rub off on them, he thought. As Naruto looked over at his two teammates, Sakura looked like she hadn't done much, like he made her did the other day. It seemed like Kakashi was going easy on her. He probably stayed inside and read that porn of his, Naruto thought with a sigh. As she had a real problem. She lacked the motivation to train, saying that Naruto was a slave driver and this training would make her look manly. And she refused to eat plenty, saying that she rather looked thin and well-toned. His eyes landed on Sasuke, who was once again bruised and a lot of dirt on him, as he was scarfing down food faster than him. At least he had some motivations to work hard. Hey teen, Naruto said, making Sasuke pause mid-bite. How's that tree climbing coming? Sasuke glared at Naruto as he swallowed. His tree climbing wasn't coming well. He had only managed to get 10 steps ahead from where he was yesterday. Better, Sasuke said that smug look, not wanting Naruto to know that he was struggling with the exercise. Soon enough I'll have this complete. Oh, so you called 10 steps higher than last time, better, Naruto asked. I didn't know that such an elite Uchiha felt a small amount of progress like that is something to be proud of. Kakashi sighed. This doesn't look good. Hey Naruto, shut up, Naruto said as he looked at Sakura. He didn't have it in him to listen to her bullshit right now. As Sasuke spoke before Sakura could say anything else. How did you know that? Were you spying on me? Hardly. I have several clones stationed around the house for protection. One of them saw you training. And what do you care, Sasuke said in anger, that the dope was making far better progress than him. You're my teammate, of course I care, Naruto said, surprising Sasuke and the others. I may dislike your stuck-up attitude, but you're still my teammate. And if you ask nicely, I might just give you a hand. Everyone looked over at Sasuke, who seemed to have some inner debate. As Sasuke looked at Naruto, seeing Naruto's face completely calm. When did he change so much? Sasuke sighed as he paused. I would like your help, he said. Most of them thought that Naruto would say no just to string Sasuke along. But he didn't do that, he just nodded. Wake up around 7 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll get your tree climbing started. As Kakashi gave a small smile under his mask, I guess there is nothing to worry about. Naruto seemed to be getting through to Sasuke. What's going on, Sakura wondered as she looked between the two of them. One minute Naruto is insulting him and next minute he's offering to help him. He must have some multiple personality disorder, said Ina Chakra. That is why he's doing that and acting like an idiot most of the time. But one person there wasn't liking the way they were talking so calmly. You got something to say, kid, Naruto said, seeing Inari glaring at him. Inari stood up and slammed his hand on the table. Yeah, I do. Why the hell do you keep on training so hard? No matter how you try, you're still no match for Gato and his man. No matter how many glorious claims you make or how strong you and hard you work. When you face the strong, you will always die. The weak will always die, he shouted. You know, you're exactly right, Naruto said. Everyone who was expecting some kind of outburst of Naruto looked over at him. The weak will always be defeated by the strong. Because you see, Gato and his man are weak. You're nothing but cowards who picked on people who cannot fight for themselves. They can only fight against people who don't have the strength or the will to fight back. Against a fully trained shinobi, a bunch of thugs mean nothing. And we are not weak. Don't lump us in the same category as you. We're nothing alike. Inari started to cry. I am glad we're nothing alike. I hate to be like you. You don't know nothing about this country and yet you're so nosy. What the hell do you know about me? You are always acting so happy like you don't have a care in the world. You don't know how hard life can be. Being a fancy ninja in a big village like that where you come from. Naruto sent Inari a harsh glare. Mixing with some killing intent, Inari quickly dropped back in his seat as he was starting to get scared. Listen to yourself. Bitching and moaning about your life. Thinking that you got it so hard. As Naruto stood up and walked straight over towards Inari. As Naruto's glare seemed to increase as he remembered the kids who had nowhere to go. Their parents must have been killed by Gato's man, suffering and starving on the street. You sit here in your home with your loving family, with a mom who cook for you, worry about you and love you unconditionally. You have a grandfather who's building a bridge, so you and your country can be free from Gato's reign. What a hard life. Oh, my dad died. Look at me whine and bitch like some coward. Sakura had enough as she stood up. Naruto shut the hell up, Naruto said. Sakura found her legs unable to support her as she dropped right back in her chair. Shivering as he was making her scared. As Naruto turned his gaze back to Inari, I bet you never stepped foot out of his little sanctuary, have you? Never been in a town, have you? Well, children younger than you have lost both of their parents. Children who don't have a mom to cook their food, or grandfathers willing to stand against a tyrant for them. They have nothing. As Naruto remembers his own life, the loneliness, the hardship, the glares, going through trash can, garbage, to try to find things that people throw away. Hey, look at him. Hey, don't go near that kid. Those heartful tones. Every time people just looked at him with that glare, it broke him inside. Yeah, I'm glad I'm nothing like you. You're nothing but a damn coward sitting here, always whining, when people out there are having it worse than you. A sniveling little bitch who was disgraced Kaizan's name. As Naruto got up and walked away. Naruto, where are you going? Destructive therapy, Naruto said. As he walked out, slamming the door behind him. Inari got up and ran away crying. Kakashi sighed. As he got up, he went around the corner to see Inari crying. Can I join you? He said. Meanwhile, out in the clearing, Naruto was going wild, as his clones were given the order to charge at him with the killing intent. As he was holding his bow staff, clones were getting smashed from left to right, as Naruto trained himself into a coma, passing out from pure exhaustion. Time skip. It seems they're out of medical herbs. Haku mumbled with a sigh as he went back into Zabuza's room. Haku looked over at Zabuza. You were far more injured than I thought. I need to get more herbs. I'll be back sometime around noon. I should be able to get enough for you to be finished healing. Whatever, Zabuza says. He shifted in the bed. Haku looked over at the two brothers that they managed to rescue. Don't let him bully you into even sitting down. He must stay in the lying position, okay? As Gozu nodded. Moments later, Haku walked through the forest. What the hell? A large part of the forest was destroyed. Mostly, the tree barks were sliced. The boy was lying there, asleep. He was one of the hindrance in Zabuza-sama's plan. Haku went over there, reaching out right to the boy's throat. The best way was to take care of him before he could cause a problem. But guys, to be in this episode right here, if you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform, and stay tuned for the rest of the what tips coming your way. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.